All right, we are going. Hey, good evening. It's Pastor Alan Wickstrom, and I'm wearing my compelled hat. And if you're seeing this on the computer there, it's backwards. We're trying a double video, and one will be on Facebook, one will be hopefully on our new website. I want to continue to talk a little bit about what's been going on and the fact that racism or sectarianism has been going on for, well, ever since human beings were created, I guess, shortly after. Well, I'll talk about a time in the book of Luke in chapter 9, starting with verse 59. It said, "Now it came to pass when the time had come for him," meaning Jesus, "to be received up, that he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem, and sent messengers before his face, and as they went, they entered a village of the Samaritans to prepare for him. But they did not receive him, because his face was set for the journey to Jerusalem. And when his disciples, James and John, saw this, they said, 'Lord, do you want us to command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, just as Elijah did?' But he turned and rebuked them and said, 'You do not know what manner of spirit you are, for the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them.' And they went to another village." So here we have this story. I talked about Jesus and the Samaritan woman, the woman at the well, and just the open door that happened because of what Jesus did in telling her who he really was. He was the Messiah. And it really impacted her life. And then she went and shared it, and it impacted her whole village, who came rushing out to see him, and they asked him to stay for a couple of days. Well, apparently this was a different village. But I have to also believe that in a rural area like that the word about Jesus had to have gone out to the other villages, to other people. So what was going on here? Well, for one thing, the woman at the well tried to argue with him about, hey, you Jews say that you need to worship at Jerusalem, and we worship at Mount Gerizim, or whatever it was called, though they had their place of worship, and it was different than the Jewish way of worshiping. It's like having different churches. So I belong to this church, and you belong to this church, and never the twain shall meet. And so there were two things going on. There was the Jewish feeling towards the Samaritans, and the Samaritans feeling towards the Jewish people. And so the Samaritans rejected Jesus coming into their town and staying there, because they knew he was going to Jerusalem. They would have preferred if he would have come and to their place of worship and basically justified what they were doing. So they were in the wrong. But then the disciples were in the wrong too, and their whole attitude was, hey, let's just call down fire from heaven. That'd be a great deal, Lord. We'll just show them. And Jesus makes this very profound statement. You do not know what manner of spirit you are of. And that's, as believers of Jesus Christ, we have to know that we are of a different kingdom and a different spirit. And when we see the things we've seen, we should grieve. We should grieve over our communities that are being destroyed by looters. And I watched a very poignant video today of a elderly black woman who said, well, what am I going to do? All the stores that I used to go to are gone. They've been looted. And she's, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get my needs met? And I believe that as the Church of Jesus Christ, this is a time that we will rise up in those situations where we can, to help, to bring help to those in need, for maybe truckloads. I know Samaritan's Purse and Convoy of Hope through the Assemblies of God are probably already loading up supplies to bring into these communities, because it's what we do, because we are of a different spirit. We are the Spirit. We belong to the living God through Jesus Christ. And Jesus said, for the Son of Man did not come into the world to destroy men's lives, but to save them. Jesus Christ loves everybody, and he wants all people to know him, all people to come to faith in him. And so I encourage you to continue to be in prayer. And if God leads you, please give some money to some resource that's coming in alongside to bring help and hope to these people. And the other thing that's happening, I believe that God is raising up a healing move in our nation. He wants to bring a move of his spirit to all people in our nation to bring healing and a restoration, that what the enemy meant to destroy, God is going to turn this around into something good and healing. And we're just going to be amazed at what God can do if we believe that he can do it. But let's be his hands and feet to do what we can to make sure those things happen. I hope you have a good night.